Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Breaking news for you from Ethiopia, Sudan border. Fano fighters have entered a border town. Ethiopian military fled into a neighboring country. This is the second time in the last 4 years that Ethiopian military had to take refuge in a neighboring country. It happened firstly during Tigray War when TPLF Tigray fighters attacked Northern Command. ENDF fled into Eritrea. Now, second time that the military, the border forces of Ethiopia had to retreat into a neighboring country. Details for you in this video. Firstly, viewers, 4 to 5 days ago, I did a video. I told you, those who are regular viewers, I think they know. I said that Fano fighters were planning to move towards a strategic town on border. Matimma. They captured Kwara. I did a video. I showed pictures from Kwara. Videos were also released by Fano from Kwara. They have been in Kwara for a year, by the way. Last year, they established a special unit to expand in Kwara and to expand their presence into the areas on Ethiopia, Sudan, Amhara, Sudan border. So from Kwara, consolidating their control, they were pushing towards Matimma. Matimma is right on Ethiopia, Sudan border. This is a border crossing too, which people use to move to and from Ethiopia towards Sudan. So, sitting here in Pakistan, tens of thousands of miles away from Ethiopia, I said that Fano fighters were pushing towards Matimma. I think they announced that too in some interviews to Fano commanders. So it's not a sudden attack by Fano fighters on Matimma. They announced that they would take control of Matimma soon. And still, the military, the federal forces could not protect the border town. That raises questions about the capabilities of the Ethiopian military. A thing which is clear that it's going to happen, it could not be prevented. So it means that either the Ethiopian military was helpless or it underestimated Fano's capabilities. Now, Sudanese news sources are confirming. Sudanese news sources. I'm not talking about Fano. Sudanese news sources are confirming that these minutes, border crossing, Matimma border crossing on Ethiopia Sudan border is closed. Who closed it? Sudan. Matimma border crossing connects Matimma, Ethiopian town, with Kalabad, which is on Sudanese side of Sudan, Ethiopia border. I think it's in Gedaref state. So Gedaref state regional authorities have closed the border. Why did they close the border? Fano fighters entered Matimma town. Hundreds of them took control of Matimma town. Ethiopian military federal forces deployed on border crossing. They fled into Sudan. Embarrassing, very embarrassing for a national army that it had to flee into a neighboring country. Reportedly, according to Sudanese sources, Sudan's military disarmed Ethiopian military, Ethiopian forces, Ethiopian federal force members who wanted to take refuge in Sudan. So they disarmed them and then they allowed them to enter Sudan to save their lives. Some Sudanese and Ethiopians who were trapped on Sudan side of the border who wanted to enter Ethiopia, they were allowed by Fano fighters to enter Matimma. Now, all that is being reported not by Fano fighters, not by any pro-Fano news outlet, but by Sudanese news sources. It means that Fano fighters managed to take control of a border town, showing that they have now reached Amhara region's borders. It's a very significant development, keeping in view that Fano is now a player which Sudan will have to take into account while talking to Ethiopia. Fano fighters, it means, now can move across Sudanese border, Ethiopia-Sudan border. Obviously, military would launch an operation. Military would try to push Fano out of a town, but this is Fano's first major entry into Matimma since last year. The conflict in Amhara, armed conflict, began last year. So they took almost a year to reach the border. It will be very difficult now to keep them away from the border. Yes, I think they could be pushed out of Matimma. It can happen. The Ethiopian government might talk to Sudanese authorities, and we could see military enforcements take over Matimma from Sudan, Sudanese territory, or maybe Benishangul Gumus could also be used. But this isn't going to be the last entry of Fano fighters into Matimma. They have shown that they can control border. Firstly, what are they saying? Why are they blocking a border crossing? Fano fighters say they want to stop the supply of ammunition, fuel, etc., especially fuel to Ethiopian military from Sudan. This border crossing is used for bilateral trade, business, for supply of fuel to Ethiopia from Sudan. So it's a very important development. No statement from the Ethiopian military. By the way, you see how badly caught up is Ethiopian military now. In the north, Eritrea, Tigray border, volatile situation. Tigray claims that its territories under occupation of Eritrea. ENDF there, patrolling there. Border with Somalia, I've been updating you for the last few days. I told you that military mobilization, military movement has been seen in Somali region of Ethiopia. Ethiopia establishing new army bases there because Egypt is coming. Egypt is sending its troops, its military equipment in Somalia. And now Ethiopia-Sudan border to becoming destabilized. By the way, Ethiopia-Kenya border too. I did a video, if you remember, a few days ago. I told you that a joint operation had been launched by Ethiopian and Kenyan security forces against Ola and the security forces. Ethiopian state-backed news sources claim that Ola had struck an alliance with Al-Shabaab and operation was underway on the border near Muyale. So you see all Ethiopian borders are now busy. Military needs to be deployed on all borders. I'm talking about borders. I'm talking about internal situation where Amhara region has turned into a war zone, parts of Oromia to seeing instability for years. Let's see all of the incoming videos. We're waiting for statement from Jula, who claims that the military is one of the strongest militaries in Africa and other African countries want their troops to be trained by Ethiopian military. But the military is finding it difficult to safeguard, to protect its borders. What is Fano's next plan? What will it do? It has managed to connect with Sudan. Obviously, it will enhance Fano's capabilities. Now they can easily acquire weapons on Sudan side of the border. Arms smugglers are operating. They've been operating there for years. They sell weapons to Ethiopian armed groups. So this is a very important development. By the way, Ethiopian PM, when he visited Sudan a few weeks ago, he shared a peace proposal with Sudanese government, Sudanese General Al Burhan. So Ethiopia was mediating between Al Burhan's military and RSF a few days ago, and now Ethiopian military is fleeing into Sudan, and Sudan's military is disarming Ethiopian troops. That's very embarrassing for the military of Ethiopia. Thank you for watching.